Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt review time again. And this time we're going to be reviewing some more of my favorite Australian Paydirt, but not just any Australian Paydirt. This comes from the Australian YouTuber Vo-Gus Prospecting and his website, theoldmouldy.com.au. And you have to put in the AU or it won't show up. And this is his 1 gram bag of Paydirt, or jar, whatever you want to call it, but it is supposed to be extremely difficult to pan out, and I'm up for the challenge that Vo-Gus has thrown down. But let's just flash up the description, go to the overhead, and check out this Paydirt a little bit closer. As you saw, the description goes into great detail on how difficult this Paydirt should be, but not much else. It does tell you it is 1 gram, and I do like the fact that it tells you that the gold is from the Randy Creek in Victoria. I like that part, but I wish it told you a little bit more. It doesn't tell you how much Paydirt you're actually getting. We're going to weigh it up to see. Doesn't tell you what size the material is going to be. I'm assuming most of the material will be smaller material because I'm guessing all the gold will be smaller since it's supposed to be so difficult. There we go. We got 10 ounces, 10.5. Now, I will say I really like this packaging when I saw it online. It looks cool. It's really cool. But I absolutely hate that he tapes it. This is obviously not meant to have dirt in it, so it would leak out. And as you can see, it has leaked out and it's gotten caught in all the tape. So really don't like that. But let's open it up. Now, I could melt this down and see if it had any gold trapped in it, but I'm not. I'm just going to assume any gold in there was not in here because there's no way for me to really recover it without essentially smelting it. So let's open it up, see what we got. Now, I probably won't rinse this container out because I kind of want to keep it. I like it. But there we go. Now, this is not the red material. You'll see a lot of the red soil from Australia. This is more of the tan stuff, but it looks very heavy in black sands. Let's see how much of it is magnetized. And not much, almost nothing. And as you can see, it is just loaded with black sand. So this should be pretty difficult to pan out. Now, I am going to classify this. I'm not sure which classification I'm going to go classify it down, but I'm only going to classify it into 2 sizes. But we'll be right back and you'll see. Okay, all done classifying, and I decided to go with a 40 mesh screen. So this is everything over 40 mesh, and this is everything below 40 mesh. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to see anything over 40 mesh should be capturable by most decent panners, where people will struggle with the minus 40 material. And I'm also curious to see how much I find in each classification, how much is easier, and then how much is the Satan's hell difficult. But the only way to find out is to pan it out, so let's go get some water and do just that.
I'm going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. I'll just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. Well, it's 15 minutes drive to Kansas City.
Finished panning everything out as you saw, and that was some fairly difficult pay dirt to go through, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For right now, let's show you the gold I found. And I did find gold in both classifications, the plus 40 and the minus 40. And I have to say, I was surprised that there was so much in the plus 40. I thought for sure this was going to be almost an exclusive minus 40 gold hunt, but there was a lot of stuff in there in the plus 40. And let's weigh it up and see how much. Now again, this bag is guaranteed a gram, so. .635 from the plus 40. And from the minus 40. .410, add it all up. And there we go, 1.045 grams. Now, I did go through this material twice. I didn't go through it a third or fourth time. I know in his description he says the third time, but I figure if you can't find it within 2 goes, then it's probably you're not going to recover, and it's probably not going to budge the scale. But there we go, 1.045 grams. Now for this jar of Paydirt from Vo-Gus Prospecting, or the old Mouldy, it was really difficult to go through. The majority of this material is black sands. About half of the gold I found was in the minus 40 category. It did cloud up the water a little bit, not too much. It cleaned up pretty well. And it also just had a tad bit of organics, not too much. But even though it didn't have very much in organics or clouding up the water, it was still extremely difficult Paydirt to go through. So for a beginner, advanced, or expert panner, I would give this a hard. Now I will say this isn't the hardest Paydirt I've ever panned out. That goes to the other YouTuber, 9 Finger Mining. He had some Paydirt that was much harder than this one, but this one was still really difficult, and you definitely want to spend a lot of time panning it out. All right, finished calculating my ROI, writing up my review, and let's get right to it. Now again, I went through a 1 gram Vo-Gus jar from the oldmouldy.com.au. Its cost was $114 plus $18 shipping for a grand total of $132. And as you saw earlier in this video, I recovered 1.045 grams. I was hoping to get closer to the 2 grams someone found in his description, but I do have another jar I will be panning out this Tuesday on a live show. So hopefully that one has a little bit more gold, but either way, I was happy because I found over the 1 gram I was guaranteed. In fact, I found 1.045 grams. Now, gold spot was $74.04 on the day that this was ordered, meaning the gold I found was worth $77.37, giving me an ROI of 58.61%, which isn't the best ROI, but you have to also take into effect that this is a YouTuber, so you know their Paydirt is going to tend to be a little bit more expensive, and also the shipping was extremely expensive because they're shipping it from Australia. And there's some great American sellers that have Australian Paydirt, but if you're going to order something from Australia, you know you're going to get a lower ROI due to the higher shipping charges. But it wasn't too bad. I'm okay getting a 58.61% because it's from Australia. Now, if I didn't calculate into the shipping charge, it would have still been a 67.87% ROI. So still not the best, but not the worst I've ever gotten. And I really enjoyed this Paydirt. Now for fun factor, I'm going to bump it up from the 5.9 that I scored it on the ROI because this was really fun Paydirt to go through if you like really difficult Paydirt. If you don't like difficult Paydirt, you shouldn't be buying this because the description does tell you it's very difficult. So I bumped it up from a 5.9 to a 7.9 because a lot of times sellers that say they have difficult Paydirt, the Paydirt's not really difficult. This stuff was really difficult, so I really enjoyed that. I like this description telling you how difficult it's going to be. So I'm jumping it up from a 5.9 to a 7.9. For description, he's only getting a 4. There's not a lot of information in there other than the fact that how difficult it is. It does tell you it's 1 gram and where the gold comes from, but I really wish there was more about the dirt itself. what classifications you should expect it to come in, where the dirt is from, and more importantly, how much you're going to get. Because all he does is show a picture of the jar, but there's no reference to it. He's not holding it in his hand, so you don't know if it's a little 2-ounce jar or a 2-pound jar. So description, he's getting a 4. Quantity and packaging, he's getting a 5.5. 5 for quantity because there is no weight stated, and a 6 for the packaging because, again, I was really disappointed to see that he put tape all the way around this. Not only does it ruin the packaging, that he got really nice packaging that is then ruined once you take the tape off, but it also, the tape catches all the material. There might have been a lot of gold stuck to that tape. I don't know. I'm not going to burn it to find out. I think if he would have just stuck this in a vacuum seal bag, the vacuum, once it would have formed, would have kept the lid closed. And even if some did leak out, like it did with the tape, it leaked with the tape anyway. If someone would have leaked out, it would have been inside of the vacuum seal bag. So maybe Vo-Gus will watch this and, maybe he'll watch it and he'll change his packaging a little bit and put it in a vacuum seal bag because tape just really doesn't work. And lastly, for customer service and shipping, he's getting a 10. The customer service was actually really quick. I emailed him from a dummy account and he responded really quick, or someone at his staff responded really quickly, and it shipped out incredibly fast. It took forever to get here, but that has nothing to do with Vo-Gus. It did ship out incredibly fast. It's just post office is really slow, especially when you have to go through customs. Giving the 1 gram Vo-Gus jar a total score of 6.7. Now, if you didn't include shipping, it would have been a 7.0, but I think those are really good scores. Again, if you're ordering from Australia, you know you're going to be paying more for shipping and things like that. So I was pretty pleased with this Paydirt. I really liked how difficult it was. It was really difficult Paydirt, and I got some more Australian dirt and some more Australian gold. Now, would I order this Paydirt again or recommend it? I probably wouldn't order it again just because it isn't a really expensive Paydirt. It's one of the ones that you buy to support someone on their YouTube channel, so you're paying extra because Vo-Gus is a big YouTuber. So it has a higher premium, and the shipping is higher as well because you're ordering it from Australia. But if you like Vo-Gus's channel, you want to support him, and you really want some really difficult Paydirt, then yeah, I would suggest you buy it. You might not be buying it every month, but a one-time purchase isn't bad. And again, you'll get about a 60% ROI, which is not the worst considering that, he has a lot of YouTube subscribers. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting that subscribe button below.